Hello there, garden enthusiasts. Welcome back to Time for Gardening. I'm so glad you're here because today, we are talking about one of the most cheerful signs of spring, the daffodil. If you've been stuck planting them in straight, boring lines, you are in for a treat. I've curated 20 unique, expert-level design inspirations specifically for your American landscapes, ranging from deer-proof barriers to breathtaking rivers of gold. You'll want to stick around until the very end, as I'll be revealing a clever pot-in-pot trick that will completely change how you manage your garden beds throughout the seasons. Let's dive in and get inspired. Imagine a sunrise unfolding across your garden floor, where the colors bleed seamlessly from one to the next. By carefully selecting varieties that range from deep, fiery orange centers to soft buttery yellows and finally to the ethereal pure white of Talia daffodils, you create a sophisticated ombre drift. This technique moves away from the static look of traditional patches, instead offering a sense of motion and artistic depth that captures the eye from a distance. To achieve this painterly effect, start by mapping out a long sweeping curve that follows the natural contours of your landscape. As you transition between colors, intermingle the bulbs at the borders of each section so the shift feels organic rather than staged. This layered approach not only extends the visual interest of your spring border, but also provides a masterclass in color theory that will leave your viewers wondering how you achieved such a professional finish. Your mailbox is often the first thing people see, so why not turn that functional post into a seasonal masterpiece? A Mailbox Meadow uses a high-impact mix of early, mid, and late-season daffodils to create a miniature ecosystem of color that greets you every time you check the mail. It's a small-scale project with a massive payoff in curb appeal, making it one of the most rewarding ways to utilize those often neglected roadside strips. The secret to a long-lasting meadow is choosing a succession of bloom, so that as one variety fades, another is just beginning to open its petals. By tucking in a few wispy meadow grasses among the bulbs, you provide natural support for the stems and a beautiful green backdrop that keeps the area looking intentional. This simple addition transforms a mundane chore into a stroll through a pocket-sized prairie every spring morning. There is something inherently magical about the way daffodils look when they appear to have grown in the wild for decades. By planting your bulbs in woodland fairy rings around the base of large deciduous trees, you tap into that whimsical old-world aesthetic. These circular clusters mimic the natural patterns found in ancient forests, creating a focal point that draws the eye into the dappled shade of your backyard. As these bulbs naturalize over time, the rings will expand and soften, blending into the surrounding landscape. Because the trees are often still dormant when the daffodils bloom, the flowers receive plenty of sunlight before the canopy fills in. This symbiotic relationship ensures your spring fairyland thrives year after year, providing a delightful surprise for anyone wandering through your garden path. While vibrant yellows are the hallmark of spring, an all-white moonlight garden offers a level of elegance that is truly unparalleled. By focusing on cream and pure white varieties like Mount Hood or Ice Follies, you create a space that seems to glow during the blue hour of twilight. These pale blooms catch the faint evening light, standing out brilliantly against the darkening foliage and creating a serene, peaceful atmosphere. This monochromatic approach works best when you play with different textures and heights within the white spectrum. Consider grouping the large, trumpet-shaped whites with smaller, multi-flowered cream varieties to add architectural interest. The result is a sophisticated garden sanctuary that feels just as enchanting under the stars as it does in the bright midday sun. Every daffodil lover knows the struggle of dealing with the ugly phase. That period after blooming when the foliage turns yellow and floppy. The Hosta Cloak is the ultimate gardener's secret to managing this transition without lifting a finger. By interplanting your daffodils with hostas, you allow the emerging, broad hosta leaves to grow up and over the declining daffodil foliage, effectively hiding the mess while the bulbs recharge for next year. This partnership is as functional as it is beautiful, as the hostas' lush green or variegated leaves provide a fresh summer look just as the spring bulbs take their bow. It eliminates the temptation to cut the daffodil leaves too early, which is crucial for the bulb's health. By the time the hostas are fully unfurled, your spring garden has seamlessly transformed into a cool, leafy summer retreat. If you have a bit of extra space or a gentle slope, nothing makes a bolder statement than a river of gold. This design involves planting a dense, winding ribbon of bright yellow Dutch master daffodils that meanders through your lawn or garden beds. The visual impact mimics a flowing stream of liquid sunshine, creating a sense of energy and movement that is impossible to ignore. To make your river look natural, avoid straight lines and instead follow the natural dips and rises of your land. Planting the bulbs closely together ensures a solid current of color that can be seen from down the street. It's a high-energy design choice that celebrates the sheer joy of spring in a way that feels both grand and playful. For those with limited space or a love for porch decorating, the lasagna container method is a game changer. This technique involves layering different bulbs at varying depths within a single large pot, starting with large daffodils at the bottom, followed by hyacinths, and topped with tiny crocuses. As the weather warms, the layers bloom in sequence, providing weeks of continuous color from a single footprint. This concentrated burst of life is perfect for entryways or patios where you can appreciate the details up close. The beauty of the lasagna pot is that it keeps the display looking fresh and full for much longer than a standard planting. Once the first wave of crocuses finishes, the daffodils emerge through the green, creating a vertical pop that keeps your containers the talk of the neighborhood. Sometimes the smallest details provide the biggest delight, and that is certainly the case with rock garden jewels. By using miniature varieties like the iconic tete-a-tete, you can tuck splashes of gold into the crevices of stone walls or between large boulders. These diminutive daffodils are perfectly scaled for the rugged, textured environment of a rock garden, where they won't get lost among larger perennials. The stones actually serve a dual purpose. They provide the excellent drainage that daffodils crave and act as a thermal heat sink, often coaxing these jewels into bloom earlier than the rest of the garden. The contrast between the delicate, waxy petals and the heavy, gray stone creates a sophisticated vignette that invites onlookers to lean in and take a closer look. A garden should appeal to all the senses. Yet many people forget that daffodils can be incredibly fragrant. By creating a fragrance pathway, lined with heirloom varieties like poeticus or cheerfulness, you turn a simple walk to the front door into a sensory experience. These specific cultivars release a sweet, spicy scent that hangs in the air, welcoming you and your guests with the true essence of spring. To maximize the effect, plant these fragrant bulbs in large clusters near waist-high garden walls or in containers along frequently used walkways. This brings the blooms and their perfume closer to nose level. As the breeze catches the scent, your garden becomes more than just a visual display. It becomes a lingering memory for everyone who passes through. In many parts of the U.S., deer can be a gardener's greatest challenge, but daffodils are your secret weapon in the fight for your flower beds. Unlike tulips, which deer treat like a salad bar, daffodils are toxic and avoided by almost all wildlife. By planting a thick deer-proof barrier of daffodils around your more vulnerable plants, you create a natural, beautiful shield that protects your landscape. This strategic planting works best when the daffodils are grouped in dense rows or wide borders at the perimeter of your garden. The deer quickly learn that this area is off-limits, often leaving the entire bed alone. It's a brilliant example of working with nature, allowing you to enjoy a lush, uneaten garden while adding a massive boost of spring color to your property's edges. For the modern gardener who appreciates clean lines and geometric shapes, the checkerboard entrance offers a stunning contemporary look. By alternating square stone pavers with neat, dense patches of daffodils, you create a living tapestry right at your feet. This structured layout brings a sense of order and architectural intent to the spring garden, proving that daffodils can be just as chic as they are cottage. To maintain the crispness of this design, use dwarf varieties that won't flop over the edges of the stones. The rigid grit pattern provides a high-contrast visual that looks just as good from a second-story window as it does from the sidewalk. It's a bold way to define your entryway and set a sophisticated tone for the rest of your home's exterior. If you want to stop traffic and have people asking, "Is that really a daffodil?" then the Double Trouble display is for you. Varieties like Bridal Crown or Sherburne feature extra layers of petals that give them the appearance of miniature peonies or carnations. These double daffodils add a level of luxury and complexity to your garden beds that the standard trumpet varieties simply can't match. Because these blooms are heavier than traditional types, they look best when planted in tight groups where they can support one another, or in sheltered areas away from heavy winds. Highlighting these unique forms in your video will show your audience that the world of daffodils is much more diverse than they ever imagined. It's a pro-level tip that adds instant prestige to any spring collection. There is a timeless charm to a lawn that looks like it belongs in the English countryside, dotted with thousands of naturalized daffodils. This look is achieved by tossing bulbs by the handful and planting them exactly where they land, creating a random, tapestry-like effect across your grass. It's the ultimate low-maintenance strategy for large properties, as these bulbs will multiply and return stronger every year. The key to a successful lawn tapestry is choosing early varieties that finish blooming and start to go dormant before your first major grass mowing of the season. This allows the bulbs to complete their life cycle naturally without interrupting your lawn care routine. Over time, the yellow blooms drifting through the green grass create a breathtaking, wild aesthetic that feels completely effortless. You don't need a massive backyard to make a statement. A window box welcome can bring the joy of spring right to your fingertips. By pairing dwarf daffodils with the deep cobalt blue of muscari, grape hyacinth, you create a classic color contrast that is arguably the most iconic duo in the gardening world. This compact arrangement is perfect for urban gardeners or anyone looking to add a pop of cheer to their home's facade. The blue of the muscari acts as the perfect foil to the sunny yellow daffodils, making both colors appear more vibrant. Because they are at eye level, window boxes allow you to appreciate the intricate details and delicate scents of these smaller bulbs. It's a simple, high-reward project that provides a daily dose of happiness every time you look out your window. Shady spots under large trees can be difficult to plant, but the under-tree tapestry turns that challenge into an opportunity. By mixing shade-tolerant daffodils with early perennials like Virginia bluebells and hellebores, you create a layered woodland-style garden. This combination ensures that as the daffodils finish their show, the hellebores and bluebells continue the narrative, providing a seamless transition of color. This design thrives on the filtered light found beneath the canopy of deciduous trees before they are fully leafed out. The varying heights and leaf shapes create a rich, textured ground cover that looks like a carefully curated forest floor. It's a sophisticated way to bring life to those dead zones in your yard, while creating a cool, lush environment for the early spring month. Many beginners make the mistake of planting bulbs in a single, thin line, but the curb appeal cluster is how the pros do it. Instead of spacing bulbs out, try planting them in bouquets of 10 to 15 bulbs in a single, larger hole. This creates a much more impactful, lush look that mimics a prearranged floral centerpiece growing straight out of the ground. These dense clusters are much easier for the eye to track from a moving car or a distance, making your home stand out in the neighborhood. By repeating these clusters at regular intervals along a driveway or fence line, you create a rhythmic, polished look that feels intentional and well-designed. It's a simple change in planting technique that yields a much more expensive look for your garden. Daffodils aren't just yellow and white anymore. The rainbow border celebrates the incredible bicolored varieties now available to home gardeners. Varieties like accent feature shocking pink or salmon-colored cups against white petals, adding an unexpected twist to the traditional spring palette. By dedicating a border to these bicolored beauties, you create a sophisticated conversation piece that defies expectations. To make these unique colors pop, plant them against a backdrop of dark evergreens or a deep-colored fence. This contrast ensures that the subtle pinks and oranges aren't lost in the bright spring light. It's a fantastic way to show your viewers that they can have a designer garden by simply choosing varieties that push the boundaries of the traditional daffodil look. If you hate the look of dying bulb foliage but love having daffodils in your main garden beds, the pot and pot trick is your new best friend. Simply sink empty plastic pots into your garden soil, and then drop sleeves of blooming daffodils into them when spring arrives. Once the flowers fade, you can lift the entire pot out, foliage and all, and move it to an out-of-the-way spot to finish its life cycle. This allows you to immediately drop in a pot of summer annuals like geraniums or petunias, keeping your garden beds in a permanent state of perfection. It's the ultimate hack for the high-maintenance look with low-maintenance effort. This flexibility means you never have to stare at yellowing leaves in your prime garden real estate ever again. Gardening on a hill can be a nightmare of erosion and difficult mowing, but slope stabilization with daffodils is a beautiful solution. Daffodils love the naturally sharp drainage that a slope provides, and their dense root systems help to hold the soil in place. By mass planting thousands of bulbs on an embankment, you turn a landscaping problem into a breathtaking seasonal highlight. From a design perspective, a slope allows you to see the entire sheet of color at once, rather than just the front row of a flat bed. This creates a massive visual impact that can be seen from a long distance. It's a practical, eco-friendly way to manage a difficult terrain while creating a mountain of gold that returns year after year with zero effort. Finally, there is a deep sense of history in an heirloom heritage bed. Many of the daffodil varieties grown in American gardens 100 years ago are still available today, and they often possess a hardiness and fragrance that modern hybrids lack. By dedicating a space to these antique cultivars, you are essentially growing a living museum that connects your garden to the past. These heirloom bulbs are often more resilient and better at naturalizing than newer varieties, making them a wise investment for the long-term health of your garden. Including their stories in your video, perhaps mentioning how they were favorites in colonial gardens, adds a layer of depth and education that your audience will truly appreciate. It's the perfect way to close your video, reminding viewers that gardening is a timeless tradition. From creating ethereal woodland fairy rings to mastering the Hosta cloak strategy, we've covered some truly transformative ways to brighten your spring. The main takeaway: don't be afraid to plant en masse, think about color transitions, and always let that foliage die back naturally to keep your bulbs healthy for years to come. If these ideas spark some creativity for your own backyard, please hit that like button and subscribe to Time for Gardening so you never miss a seasonal tip. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 20 styles was your favorite? Drop a comment below and let's chat gardening. Until next time, keep growing.